Beasley did this video about Isabella Moody. You know, he had that show The Grudge with her, and he's talking about how he was hurt and he thought he could change her perception. Luke Beasley is what's wrong with the left and liberals, and especially the Caucasian ones, because they think they can take these bigoted, racist people and change their perception and change their mind. No, you cannot. If you want to have a conversation with an actual Republican who has Republican values, but not someone who's simply trying to rage bait people. So, Luke, you asked for this at the end of the day, and I'm happy that you got what you wanted. Let's get into the show, you guys. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 here, and I want to go ahead and dive into this video. As you guys may or may not know, Isabella and Luke did this show called The Grudge on his channel. Mind you, at the time, she only had like 20K subscribers. He has 1 million, so he basically platformed this woman, and he's kind of going through throwbacks of the controversial things that she has said in the past. So let's go ahead and play the video, and I'm going to give my commentary. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, you guys. Here we go.
To young women, unironically, they need to find a man that's very misogynistic.
I think Malcolm X is based. I'm Malcolm X. Cool guy, yeah.
I would say he's based if he wasn't black.
Hey, speaking of getting a job.
Women aren't smart guys. Newsflash, breaking news, we aren't smart.
The Black national anthem is gay.
I say we bring back normalizing the word We need to shame again. We need to put them back in the closet.
Like, she's not even just a woman that I don't want to be president, because I don't think any woman should ever have a leadership position. Not only is she a woman, but she is the in chief.
Now, obviously, I thought it'd be entertaining to watch me.
And by the way, I'm not smiling because I agree with the stuff she's saying. I'm smiling because literally my point was proven right there. You can't change. Like, why would you want to do a show with somebody like that? Like, what would make you go like, we should do a show and we can have some kind of understanding with you? Like, are you stupid? Don't answer that, Luke. You are.
A liberal talking about the news and different subjects with someone as outrageous and far right as she is online. But I also, and this especially given what happened, which we'll talk about, seems naive, but I think I deep down believe that if I just had enough time with every person, I could eventually convince them of some of my core principles, not every detail of politics by any means, but at least basic stuff like, I don't know, decency. So we did it, hoping it would be interesting to the audience, but also me secretly and not so secretly hoping I would, over the course of the show, convert Isabella ideologically to something a little bit more reasonable from my perspective. And her husband, Josiah.
This is the same woman who would be on his show, right? When they did The Grudge together, calling him the F word. And this is the person he thought he could change. And, you know, let the video play, y'all.
Who appeared in a few episodes.
I'm not going to have gay sex. And like, gay sex is more than just like another man and a man. It's just like the idea of looking at sex as such a materialistic thing and just like, oh, well, like we just have an orgasm and that's fun or whatever. No, like, dude, sex is about having children. It's about having babies.
So we launched it, an extreme right winger and a liberal in the same room for a podcast once a week. See what happens. And as you'd expect, a lot happened.
Fine, if you want to have a freaking gay, freaking rainbow alphabet mafia bathroom for the queers, have your freaking bathroom, but I don't want any part of it.
A bunch of metrics are better off now than probably when.
And this was featured on the show. These are the people that he wants to find common ground with and, see if they can have some similarities and try to have an understanding and almost convert these people to be liberals. Again, is he stupid? And mind you, I know Luke Beasley. I'm familiar with his content. I get him. I understand him. However, we have to have this conversation where white people, I'm going to just say it, white people feel like they can convert these people and make them, no, there's no change in them. Isabella even told you.
When y'all left it, 1800 on 1700, when did y'all like it?
1950s.
1950s. Oh, the time to be alive.
Yeah.
Come on.
Seriously.
Including like the oppression of black people and stuff?
Oh, segregation's not oppression.
Oh, wow. But after the first few weeks, I'd really completely become uninterested in whatever intrigue was generated by the debate and disagreements, and became fully passionate about the idea of using the show as a documentation of the ability to take someone who, by her own admission, rage baits and then I believe says extremely hateful and hurtful things, and induce a transformation that would give people hope. If Luke can get Isabella to change her ways and become more compassionate in her politics and rhetoric, then who can we reach? That was the grand plan and dream as the show progressed. And pretty quickly,
Oh yeah, you did a great job with that.
I saw hopeful signs. After this particularly hostile podcast,
Luke, I'm sorry, but like I've been so happy with the growth that I've done. But when you are still going after me, even though I've conceded that
You're calling
it's
people
hateful,
a pig.
it makes me wish I never conceded a inch.
See? And so then whenever you say it's super authentic and it's super genuine.
It is.
Okay, well then
It is.
then
It's
why
never
would you
enough.
back off?
It's never enough. It's never enough. That's how I feel. It's never enough. You take an inch and I give you an inch and you want to
I
take
take an inch and I want the full inch.
and after that, we had a heart-to-heart. It got so explosive that we then just kind of stripped that away and privately talked and explained that conversation in the next episode.
What happened was the guy stood up and turned off the cameras and left, and they would just start talking. But then after the conversation, because it was a really productive one about what I found hateful, what your stance was, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and then we just like, it fades to black and we come and we're like, hi, we're all energetic again because we'd like reset.
And that was
everything.
like a long time, and we did not think we would finish the episode. We thought we'd have to refilm the next day.
I thought, hey, if
Here's the thing about the grifters, because I don't really consider her like a true Republican or conservative. She's literally a grifter. So I want to say things that are controversial to get attention and get, clicks and views. So at the end of the day, get money. That's her whole thing. So I believe when you have a conversation with her behind the scenes, yeah, she's a decent person because she's not putting on this persona or this character. But to tell you the truth, she's an unsavory person because either way, if you could say some cruel, ignorant shit on camera, like that's within you. Like you can't just turn that on. Like she's not, grifting is kind of like acting, but at the same token, like, no, this girl actually believes this. Like she's happy to do this. Like she's trying to be disrespectful on purpose because that's who she is. And you thought, oh, if I bring her on camera, it'll change and we can have conversation. No, Luke, no.
in just a few weeks, she's already not defending the rage bait and over-the-top attacks against people and is willing to admit maybe she has room to be more compassionate and less extreme. Maybe this isn't an impossible task. That was my thinking. She even pulled back on some of her rhetoric outside of the show and seemed to actually understand where I was coming from on a lot of things, which led to a lot of friendly and fun moments.
Usually, if I don't know someone, I'm like, okay, I hurt your feelings, bye. But when I could tell I hurt your feelings even before you told me, I could tell it during that podcast episode, I felt bad. I genuinely felt bad. And if it weren't for us doing this together and me learning who you are as a person, I wouldn't care if you felt bad. I would have just written you off.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, I've filtered out these people and like excluded myself from so many relationships that could have been great.
Now, I say this next part at risk of being heavily judged, but I do want to be completely transparent with all of you. I'll go through this. At this point, I'd become genuinely, personally invested. Some of that you watch.
I want to say something real quick because as a Black person, I can speak to this when you have a friend, right? And necessarily, I wouldn't say they're racist. However, do they really mess with Black people like that? No, right? So they like me, but they might not like Black people. That is something that can happen. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Someone can like me, but they necessarily do not like Black people. They just like me. And I think this is a situation with Luke. Like, yeah, he's liberal and he's gay, and she likes him, but that doesn't mean she likes other liberals and other gay people, obviously, because she's still calling people the F word on Twitter. So, yeah.
Watch play out on the show, but it also happened behind the scenes, just interacting as people, stripping away Isabella's rage debate and politics. It was perfectly lovely. Dare I say, friendship.
Okay, fun. We're having fun.
I really do believe, by the way, this story and the ending of it aside, that good people can say and do bad things and can change. And that by showing people the byproduct of your principles and kindness, respect, compassion, you can inspire them to align with said principles. And so that personal investment where I really started believing the story of The Grudge was going to be a wild transformation, not people just bickering forever, a wild transformation story, both publicly and privately for Isabella. Maybe I'd grow in ways too with that interaction. But that buy-in made it really aggravating when we take one step forward, but then two steps back.
Is this or is this not hateful?
Oh, it 100% is.
Okay, and then you feel that's justified. Why? Or are you admitting, oh, I'm doing the thing I previously said in the last freaking episode is not justified, which is being needlessly hateful to get clicks?
Yeah, I think the major difference here is this is a mutable characteristic. You
Okay.
can change this.
All right.
You cannot be fat. Stop eating.
All right, so now let me get ahead of one talking point I hear a lot. Oh, you're just trying to control, or you were just trying to control her speech. You're saying that the only way someone can be a good person is saying what you want them to say. No, And I do acknowledge that some of these lines are arbitrary and pretty squishy concepts, but I don't think the nuances of that take away from the obvious truth that Isabella doesn't seem very interested, separate from politics, from treating people online, to be clear, privately is different, as she'd want me to specify, with respect.
See, I told you, privately, yeah, it's different, but online, no. And at the end of the day, like I said, she was at 20K before when they first started. Now she's like at 46K. So she got what she wanted. More eyes on her, more attention. She's still out there doing the rage bait. Like, you basically platform someone that you shouldn't. And I was waiting for, I know we're not at the end, but I'm waiting for like some kind of apology for even introducing her to your audience. I haven't heard one yet.
And so she has the right to do and say whatever she'd like, but I like to surround myself with people who do have that basic level of decency, how I perceive it, who put something good into the world, even online, which I think is fair, very personal filter for people. And plenty of folks of different political ideologies make it easily through that filter in my life. I have all sorts of different political backgrounds for people that I'm very close with, but there is a line, and Isabella was routinely miles away from it. So because I was becoming so personally invested in both Isabella and Josiah and thought real personal and political change for them could come of our collaborations, I was that much more emotionally attached and distraught to what felt like that constant.
He was hoping to have a threesome with him because there was no way in I'm sorry, y'all. There's no way in hell he thought he was going to change him. Get the out of here with that.
One step forward and two steps back.
So then you wish you hadn't posted that.
No, I'm okay with it being hateful, not loving.
Yeah, of course.
So then I'm supposed to.
We can disagree here.
No, I don't want to talk to someone. I don't want to do a podcast with someone who purposefully is hateful. We talked about this already. That was our whole hours-long conversation on camera and before.
A show that had started as, hey, I see people yelling on TV at each other all the time about politics. We could do a show like that. Turned into my daily emotional state being way too dependent on how my operation Change the Moody's was going. And yes, I can hear them saying, oh, Luke, having fifis. How so very, what's the word? Gay.
If you do, you're gay. I feel like most gays are probably constipated. It's against nature being gay. Luke isn't gay. He's attracted to himself. Archie's gay too. Gay guy. That sounds like a gay term. So not gay.
Let's do a tally. Luke being gay.
Every second that he's gay, take a tally. Even gay men can beat women. Why do I sound like a gay woman? So gay. Homosexuality, guys.
How does he do that gay?
More than gay guys.
Let's do it. Am I gay quiz? Bro, you're
I love this for him. I do. I love that literally he thought they were being passive aggressive, but they were literally disrespecting him to his face. I love this for him. I really do. These are the kind of people he thought he could share some principles with and he could try to change. Get out of here. He got to admit to himself that he thought this was going to be a great idea because there's a lot of shows who do let's have somebody, extreme opposite and let's argue and fight. There is no way in hell you can tell me that he actually thought he could change these people's perception. There's no way in hell. He could have literally got any conservative person, but he chose Isabella Moody. Don't forget, this is the same woman. Let me go ahead and just bring this up real quick. And I covered up the face because, we don't bash children here. But it literally says, my daughter literally said the N-word. I'm so proud of her. And this is the kind of person that you want to find common ground with and have a conversation. You can't make this up, you guys. Like, he asked for this. Like, and I've seen the people in the comments all like, oh, you're so much better without her and forget her, blah, blah, blah. Where is the accountability for Luke? Where is his accountability?
right now. I don't want to learn from
So at this point, we're many weeks in. They're practically living in DC now to film the show. I'm sacrificing a lot of time and effort away from my normal daily show because I'm so preoccupied with this mission I've created for myself. I'm engaged in the strangest friendship of my life and in a business arrangement that became about so much more than business. I saw redeeming qualities and I wanted to give those a little bit more oxygen than it seemed like they were getting. They seemed very deprived of oxygen. But I slowly and tragically started realizing, even though it seemed like we had made real progress, the level of emotional, financial, and time investment just didn't make any sense. And I also had a terrifying fear that whatever progress was being made may have just been a product of the show serving as an incentive for Isabella. And it wasn't authentic change. To be clear,
there was no progress. I promise you. I've watched every episode. And mind you, remember I talked about this whole rage bait thing that Luke was doing. I did a video on this months ago and people said I was tripping or whatnot. No, this was literally rage bait. He was playing into it. But hey, y'all don't listen.
Obviously don't know for sure one way or the other if these changes were because of the fact that I was paying her to appear on the show, or it could have not been that, and that she really thought she was exhibiting genuine growth. But
Ding, ding, ding,
I didn't
ding,
want to continue believing or being worried about the fact that it could have been the former.
Yeah, dummy, a check. Of course she was going to do it for a check. And obviously it was something. If she was flying to DC to film that show, oh, you were paying her something. You know, her and her husband. Because her husband was there too, except he would be in the background. He was only on a few episodes, but he would be in the background. So you're paying for their plane ticket, their hotel stay or Airbnb or whatnot. So you were cashing her out money. Yeah, of course she's going to do the show with you.
And I was frankly just exhausted being so mentally invested in the show and in them as people. Like, I'd be genuinely so let down when in between episodes she would say something outlandish and insane on social media. So we met face to face. I explained my reasoning. They understood, and we parted ways. I really believe, though, that we'd stay in touch and maybe the growth and change would continue. But pretty quickly, Isabella went right back to the exact same stuff she was doing when I met her.
I thought we would stay in touch. Let me just tell you something. These social media relationships, they only last for as long as you guys are working together, the friendship seems genuine, right? But after whatever project or y'all have some kind of falling out, you don't remain friends. Now, there are people who I've met in person and who I love off of this platform, but it doesn't stay that way. He thought somebody like that you would want to be friends with somebody who's literally calling you the F word to your face and saying it with so much glee. You want to be friends. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, these are all her tweets. Wait, that's the code word. Nigeria is code for the end. All of this.
Sometimes someone's getting offended for a reason that's irrational. Sometimes someone should do some introspection and stop being so hurtful.
I do think that that's a valid point, Luke. And what I've been learning right now, like recently, is there's a difference between people online that seems like there's no face to it versus how I treat people in person, which is something I've been understanding.
Yeah. And you're going to merge the two, where you try to treat people online also as you would treat someone in person.
I don't know about that.
That's just X, just Twitter. That's what you do.
Y'all, I'm done with this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But like I said, literally, Luke fell into this. He platformed this woman who he should not have platformed. If he wanted to have a conversation with a conservative, he could have picked anybody, conservative or Republican. He did not have to pick this girl who clearly does not give a damn about having principles or having some kind of morality. You literally picked these people, her and her husband, because it's two of them. Her and her husband was paying them money and probably paying them very well too. I don't know, I don't count people bank account, but I know Luke makes some money, right? Paying them very well. And here's the thing. A lot of these big left-leaning channels, they feel like, oh yeah, let me get the conservative on here and I can, I don't want to say put them in their place, but I can debate them and we can get clicks and views. Like at the end of the day, it's all about money. The people that the left needs to try to bring in are the people who chose to stay home the last election. Those are the people that you want to bring in. You're not going to do anything about trying to convert these conservatives. Like the DNC, whoever is paying Luke, it's some kind of left-leaning program or organization that's paying them. Let's just put that out there, right? I don't know if it's exactly the DNC, but they need to recalibrate and let these people know, these podcasters, YouTubers, like, hey, we need to reach out to the people that chose to stay home and figure out why they chose to stay home. Not try to reach out to MAGA and try to pull them in. You're seeing a lot of these politicians trying to go to the extreme. Like, it's one thing to bring in people who have a difference of opinion, but they're specifically going to people who are racist and bigoted and trying to change them. Those aren't people that I want to build a coalition with. This is why we need more Black people in this space. But let me know what you guys think. I appreciate y'all for checking out the video. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But we out. Deuces, everybody. Have a good one.